mental freeze when these people talk too much. Put that shit in slow motion, yeah. I feel like an astronaut in the ocean. Ay, what you know about rolling down in the deep? When your brain goes numb, you can call that mental freeze when these people talk too much.
What's up? What's up, guys? Hope everybody's having a good night. Happy Sunday, 8:30, 9:30 Will time. We got a good episode for you guys tonight, episode 3 of the Fat2Fit podcast. We're going to be talking about tracking food 101, kind of give you guys some tips regarding tracking your macros, nutrition, calories intake, whether you're trying to put on weight or lose weight. Before we do that, we have a special birthday for the birthday. How was your birthday yesterday, man?
It was good. It was hectic as hell, but it was very much enjoyed. I got to go see my family, so that was nice.
Happy birthday, man. Welcome to 24. What can you do now? Can you
Thanks, bro. I can now apply for the $10,000 grant to move to Northwest Arkansas is what I can do. That's the big thing for 24. I don't think insurance drops until I turn 25, so I got another year. I got another year before it's like a big birthday.
Gotcha. Well, happy birthday, man. Hopefully you had a good time with the family. How was your drive back home?
It was the normal. I mean, that fucking 6 hour and however long drive from Jonesboro to Indy is never fun. It's literally all interstate. So it was what it was. But good to be back. And I guess ready to get the fucking week rolling now. I'm still a little bit drained from last week and the weekend.
God, dude, these gnats are pissing me off.
You're going to be shadow boxing this entire podcast.
Yeah, people are going to be like, what the hell is going on? But yeah, man, it's Sunday. It's the day we get to touch up with everybody, catch up. Kind of a weight loss update here. Told you guys I was going to keep it real with you guys, kind of be honest about everything. So we're down. Shit, I got on the scale yesterday morning. I was down like 54 pounds. So I lost like 4 more pounds, so that's pretty cool, I guess. I actually had to eat more this week because I'm losing too fast, and I don't want to lose weight too fast. Especially before in the past, that was awesome, right? Like, but I know how bad I fucked up in the past, and that's not something that I want to happen. So I actually had 2 cheat meals this week just to kind of offset that. Just got done having my first cheat meal right now, or my second cheat meal. Had one earlier this week, but other than that, man, it's been good. Increased cardio. We're up to 30 minutes a fucking night.
Hell yeah. So are you just for adding food, are you just adding an additional cheat, or are you going to add food throughout the week as well?
No. So what I noticed, right, since we're talking about calories today, is just based on the 5 meals and the type of foods that I've been eating, my calories range anywhere from really 2,500 to 3,000. I'm aiming more to be on the 3,000 to 3,100 scale, like really pushing for it, because I think average before it was like that 24 to 25, and just based on the information, you know how MyFitnessPal already creates the caloric deficit for you, right?
Yeah.
Based on that deficit anyways, I didn't want to be down 30, 40, 45% of a deficit because I didn't want to lose weight too fast. I felt like I was losing way too quick.
Yeah.
So I'm just more focused on trying to actually hit that 3,000 mark. So whether that's like more chicken, more rice, whatever the hell I need to add to it to be able to hit that daily intake, that's what I'm doing. The cheat meal just kind of happened out of nowhere. It was the first one anyways. I wasn't aiming for it, but it was Thursday. We got done super late at the gym, and I was like, I'm not going to cook. Heather's not going to cook. We got kids, so that's why that came apart. But yeah, the goal isn't to have 2 cheat meals a week. It's to have 1 cheat meal a week and just continue to eat healthy, just increase a little bit.
Hell yeah. More rice, more potatoes.
Yes, sir. How about you? Any fitness goals? Was that video that you posted on Instagram, was that current?
What video?
You posted a dance video or a posing video with somebody?
Oh, yeah. No, that's one of my coaches. That's Kenna. She does my diet. That was me making fun of bikini posing.
But was that recent or is that an old one?
So that was like, God, when I can tell you a date. I want to say that was a week ago Saturday.
All right. So
Um,
your legs are looking good.
yeah, my legs, my ass have grown a shitload. That's been our main focus. Just as far as it was Sunday, March 7th, so it was a week ago today.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so that our main focus for me right now is kind of beginning the transition into classic physique. So I still imagine my next competition will be done in men's physique, just because realistically, so I compete at about 187. If I want to be competitive at 6'1" in classic physique, I realistically need to weigh around 220 pounds
Gotcha.
on stage. So what is that? 33 pounds of stage weight. It's a realistically a 5-year process.
Yeah.
And that's on the higher end, really. Maybe a 3 to 4 year process. But as far as that goes, main focus has been on legs because of that. My legs have been lacking a lot, and then chest is another huge focus, and back is starting to become more of a focus since the legs have come up a lot.
You're working every body part twice a week, or you alternate?
No. So I do 2 separate leg days. So I split quads and hamstrings, and I'll usually hit like maybe 1 or 2 quad movements on my hamstring day, and vice versa. I do 1 calf movement on each day, so I hit calves twice a week, but only 1 exercise each day. And then I'll have my split's essentially 1 leg day on Sundays. Monday is chest, and I'll usually do 1 or 2 tricep movements with chest. Tuesday will be back. I'll do 1 or 2 bicep movements at the end of that day. Wednesdays typically rest. Then I hit the other leg day, and then I'll do a couple of chest. I'll start my shoulder day with 2 chest movements, then hit shoulders, and then I'll have an arm day, and then that's the end of the week. But I also alternate every other day. I do body weight dips for chest development as well. So there's a bunch of other stuff, and then core movements. I've got 2 different core circuits that I've started doing that are thrown in as well and whatnot. It's a more complicated split that I'm used to. I mean, my years with Ty, he literally had me on PPL the entire time, which got old after a while. But that is what it is. Anywho, enough about that boring shit. But what's been going on? How's your week been as a whole? How have your lifts been? I don't think we've talked about your injury on here yet.
No, we haven't talked about the injury. It's been interesting, man. Kind of learning to take it easy. I had a chest. Overall, the shirt feels good. It feels better. I went to go get checked, got it worked on a little bit, and kind of diagnosed what exactly was wrong. And it's a grade 2 tear in my bursa, right? So it's still healable without surgery. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, and for those people that don't know what bursa are in all of your joints. They're like these little bitty slacks of fluid that reduce friction within the joint. So his tear being in the bursa just means that it's not the muscle or the tendon itself, but it's another piece within the joint.
Yeah, so that's what he was worried about. He was worried that maybe the joint was out of place, or that I did something to my rotator cuff. And I honestly thought it was probably the rotator cuff, but I'm glad it wasn't. It's just it's been fun. So I was told not to stop lifting, to continue to lift, obviously, but really take down the intensity of my workout. So I've been, for the past, since I started, right, 8 weeks. This marks end of week 7, but since I started, I was going hard every single day, lifting every single day, and really going heavy every day.
Yeah,
which I was working to build a strength, right? Every single day I was increasing weight more and more and more. And then there was a couple of days throughout the week where I wouldn't increase that much because I just wasn't feeling it. Intensity was down, but ended up fucking it up, and here we are. But you know what? I'm proud of myself though, because mentally, I really thought it was going to kick my ass. I thought it was going to be one of those things where, shit, I'm hurt. I'm going to use this excuse to not work out, to eat like shit. And overall, I had a great week. I said, you know what? It's just a small bump. Deal with the pain. Just take it easy in the gym. But when I say it was hard, man, I did a chest workout, right? And which were the things that I was told to take it really easy on chest because of the pushing forward, pushing up when you're laying or whatever. So I can't do like your traditional barbell bench press, flat bench press, or like incline or shit of that nature. I have to do more mobility in the beginning of my workout to make sure that the shoulder is warmed up and everything, because even though I don't need surgery now, it's a grade 2 tear. And he said it's at the point where if I go too heavy, it could easily become a grade 4 and I would need surgery. So the hard thing when I did chest was, pressing really lightweight. Like mentally that fucked me up. Was like, fuck, I can't go past like 40, because I was doing like 45-pound dumbbell incline.
Yeah.
And I was like, obviously this isn't heavy. So I was focus on the negative, focus on the contraction. And I was like, I feel it, but if I go up weight, I'm going to feel it in the shoulder. And that's what I was scared of, was I'm going to feel it in the shoulder. So taught myself, hey, don't go up. So mentally it was like, fuck, I can't go up. Had to keep myself from going up in weight. So
yeah, and even on top of that, I don't know about you, but I just like weight feels like it moves so different until you reach like a certain like strength threshold. So like namely kind of like you're talking about on dumbbell incline, until I hit like 65 or 70 pound dumbbells, like I shake like a leaf. But you give me like 70, you give me 70-pound dumbbells and I am strict, locked into my form, like everything. And I don't know where it is. It's not like a mental thing, like with it saying being like, oh, this is light, so it's going to be easy. And then like my muscles just don't contract the same. Like the contraction feels the same, but it's almost like my stabilizers just will not kick in to hold it in right.
I thought I was the only one that actually ever experienced that. It's funny you say that, because that's one of the reasons that I'm turned off by doing dumbbell bench press or dumbbell incline presses or flat, is because like when I start off just like my warm up sets, when I'm doing like 45 or 50 pounds, like I'm uneven. I can't control it. It's too weak. My hands are super shaky. When I get to like the 70, 75 pound, then I really feel like I'm fully controlled and everything. So yeah, that's funny.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why usually if I do like higher volume stuff, what you're going to be doing essentially right now, like if I'm doing high volume work and it's reps past 8 reps, like that's really, if I'm doing anything with a dumbbell, unless it's lateral raises for shoulders, I like to stay in the 6 to 8 rep range, unless they're like feeder sets or warm up sets, whatever you want to call them. And then I'll stick to like the 10 rep range. But once I move past that and I get higher than that, I almost exclusively use cable or plate loaded machines.
Yes, sir. So that's where that's been, man. It's been an interesting week. Like I hit back yesterday and I was doing lat pull downs and stuff, and I was like, fuck, it's 135. I'm sitting here like, this is extremely fucking light. But it was all mental. It was like, all right, focus on the negative, contract the muscle, go super slow. And it was still a great workout. It was still a burn and everything, but that's what it was anyways. But yeah, man, other than that, so that's the injury part of things. Update wise, did really good. We're going to discuss, kind of jump into tonight's topic. That way we don't keep you on here a lot, because you're obviously tired. You've driven. I can feel your energy kind of low. So tonight's topic kind of is, we'll try to make it quick, but it is food tracking 101. It's basically teaching you guys to track your food. I'll pull up MyFitnessPal on here, take you guys to do like MyFitnessPal, so you guys see that and how that navigates, whether you're trying to create like a surplus or a deficit in MyFitnessPal, and how to handle that. And then we're also going to get into like the labels, right? How labels lie and how we don't really pay attention to to the food that's actually going into our bodies. That's why we gain weight or can't gain or lose weight, is because there's much more to it than just the calories, right? You got to add the calories of like the oil that you're cooking the food in, the butter, and so forth. So that is going to be tonight's topic. With that being said, Will, do you want to kick us off there?
Yeah, so I mean, kind of like you said. So I have, which now that I think about it, I really need to get back to a couple of people who've messaged me in the past week, but it's just been crazy. But kind of like you said there, like this is tracking 101, right? So like the main point of this topic is just going to be to simplify food tracking, macro tracking, calorie tracking to as simply as we can to make it easy for anybody, no matter what their diet is, to be able to at least just see what they're eating. Because I mean, even if you jump into macro tracking or calorie tracking without the purpose of saying I want to hold myself within this threshold of everything, I think it's interesting for people who are just starting to learn about weight loss and nutrition, just to like take a week, eat like you normally do every day, but plug everything you do into some sort of nutrition tracker. That way you can see what you're eating. Because a lot of people don't realize that, one, they're either not eating near enough food, or two, they're eating far too much for what they do day to day.
Yeah.
So my favorite way, and it's what Eddie uses, it's what I tell anybody who messages me and asks me about this stuff to use, is MyFitnessPal. It's literally the easiest food tracker that's free. You can pay for like a nicer version of it where you can set your own macros and whatever else. I don't ever tell anybody to pay for it. The only advantage, if I remember right, I think there's some sort of functionality where if you pay for like the updated version, you can share your tracking, like you can share all of your numbers with somebody else, or you can be like a coach and view your clients' numbers and whatnot.
Can you not do that on the free one anymore?
Do what?
Can you not do that on the free version anymore?
You may still be able to, but I know there's some additional functionalities, if I'm not mistaken, with sharing as far as that goes on the pro version. On top of, I know the big part of the pro version that I know a lot of people use is just being able to set your own macro goals versus just.
Yeah, they do. Sorry to cut you off there. The pro version, I kind of did a little bit of digging into it before I started this, because I wanted to see where I was going to get the most benefit. But the two big things with the pro version is, one, you can adjust your macros, like you mentioned, but they also have like built-in workouts. So they got built-in workouts and recipes that they give you for free. So that's the big thing they're trying to sell.
I gotcha. And I'm sure that's probably something that changed whenever Under Armour bought MyFitnessPal.
Yeah.
Which that is another thing. I think it's actually on the logo of the app now. I don't even own the app anymore or have it downloaded, because if I ever use MyFitnessPal, it's just to compare macros, and I use my computer. I don't do it on my phone. But anyway, MyFitnessPal, yeah. So Eddie's pulling it up right here. You kind of start off just telling MyFitnessPal about you, and then you tell them what your goal is, as far as like, do you want to lose weight? Do you want to gain weight? Do you want to maintain? So on and so forth. And it's actually going to just spit out macros at you. Like, it's
correct.
You keto, so on and so forth, things of that nature. And it's just going to spit numbers at you and not tell you where it came from. So like MyFitnessPal, if you're looking for diet advice, as far as what you should be eating, MyFitnessPal is the most basic form of that. And I've got an example of one of my emails that we can look at very, very briefly after this. That's going to be the most like specific and not complicated, but the most specific form of nutritional advice. But as far as that goes, I'll let Eddie take it from here on this.
Yeah. So kind of like to touch on the side of things, right? I use MyFitnessPal to basically track my calories, give me an idea, a rough estimate of what my day looks like, right? One of the big things about it, we'll start with this front screen, right? I'm actually going to take you guys through like the entire setup here. So it's very important that you enter your correct information on here. When looking at this, you want to make sure that when you enter your weight, it's the correct weight. It's not oh, I think I'm 190 pounds, but in reality you're 250 pounds, because then it's gonna mess up the calories. It's gonna give you a different calorie range, different caloric deficit, whatever.
Yeah. And the another important thing just to note there, your correct weight is your fasted weight.
Correct.
You should only ever weigh unless so this I shouldn't say it like that. The best time of day to weigh is the same time of day, your most consistent time of day, I guess is the best way to put that. So if you're eating a very strict diet, you're eating at the exact same time every day, eating the exact same food every day, and drinking the exact same amount of fluids every day, you can weigh as long as you're weighing at the exact same time every day. You can weigh at any point in time, but nobody eats that consistently.
Yeah.
So the best time to weigh is right after you wake up in the morning. Go take your morning pee and poo before you drink anything, before you eat anything, before you shower, anything like that. The only thing you should be doing before is using the bathroom, and then go step on a scale. There's
Correct.
never going to be a more consistent time.
Yeah, and there's many reasons behind that, right? Like your body holding on to weight due to salt or carbs or whatever. So that's why you never want to weigh yourself after a full day of eating,
Yep.
especially at night or something. So take that advice. Make sure you weigh yourself after you use the restroom in the morning before consuming water or anything. So that's super good advice there. So back to like my fitness pal on here, right? I'm gonna enter numbers. It's nothing specific, but I did current weight 285, height we're just gonna go an even 6 feet, and then this is a male. And then it's really important that on activity, like your normal daily activity, that you actually read on here and figure out where you actually sit, right? So, like for me, for example, I'm a salesperson. I do retail sales. On the weekend is the busiest time of like sales for us. So throughout the week, it's a very slow. So what I did was I put, lightly active. It says lightly active is spend a good part of the day on your feet, teacher, salesperson, etc. Because my days can vary. So that's what I did on mine. And then how many times out of the week do you actually plan on exercising? This is going to be important. If you're new to this and you're trying to lose weight, be realistic here, right? Unless you're somebody like me who's gone through a journey or something, or somebody like Will who's disciplined and from the beginning, you're actually going to hold yourself accountable. Be realistic on how many days a week you actually want to work out. And I would say realistically, probably what, Will, 3 to 4 days is probably solid.
In my opinion, I would honestly, unless you're somebody who's already consistently going to the gym on a consistent schedule and your nutrition is coming like next, like your first step was getting to the gym and being active and moving around. And then step number 2 is let's get the diet in check.
Yeah.
Then I would start with 0.
0 days.
I would start with 0 days, just because at the end of the day, adding, as we saw like last week, for some people, adding the gym to their life is more difficult than others. And you don't want to base your calories. I don't want to say that I'm going to be at the gym Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then tell my calorie calculator that I'm going to be there Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and it spit out macros for me to have 300 more calories every day because it thinks I'm going to burn a bunch of calories doing resistance exercise and then only go one day. I only make it on Wednesday, and then I just ate a bunch of calories that's going to eat away at my weight loss. I would rather just create an additional deficit with those workouts. And after 2 weeks, if you're consistent and you hit 4 days a week, go back in here, recalculate your calories for 4 days a week worth of exercise, but don't start with this big number. And don't start saying you're going to go 5 days a week and make that be what your diet's based off of. And then think that if you miss 2 days, it's not going to affect your diet.
So we'll keep it basically pretty simple then. You're getting your, right now, the only thing you're focused on is just getting the food portion of it under control. Just give yourself We're going to enter 0 days as a workout. Your goal is to lose 2 pounds per week. So let me sign this up. It's going to give us take us through this entire screen. This is why I wanted to do it, because so many people kind of have questions regarding that. Holy cow.
Good. Yeah, they're going deep on this nowadays.
Jesus.
It was nothing like this whenever I ever used MyFitnessPal.
Yeah, it was a symbol of email and so forth.
Oh, it wants you to share it with a bunch of people? What the hell?
What?
What's that up at the I can't even, it's a little bit like it's pixelated on my screen. I don't know why, but
Yeah, it doesn't members who diet, so we hate spam just as much as you do. Wow, it really here. I'll do you.
is it actually making you add other people?
Yeah, like you won't. Well, let me continue. Oh, there you go. You can skip it. All right, cool. So, based on the information that we entered into MyFitnessPal, right? So this is the target and everything that it gives you to be able to lose weight, because we put on here that we wanted to lose 2 pounds per week. So if you follow this, let me actually get into the diary side of things. Got it. All right. So according to MyFitnessPal, for anybody who's 280 pounds, 285 pounds, who wants to lose 2 pounds per week, for them to be able to get down to their goal weight of 220, they're going to have to consume 2,180 calories. So no more than that, according to MyFitnessPal. So this is the number to keep in mind here is the 2180. That's already with your deficit included in there. So as long as you're eating no more than 2,180 calories, you're going to lose weight. Of course, there's going to be some days that are higher, some days that are lower, right? That's going to slow things down. If you want to be consistent and you actually want to get down to your goal weight, according to MyFitnessPal, the way you or in the time frame that you want to get down to it, then this is going to be your target goal, is 2180. You want to add anything to that there, Will?
Yeah, so I mean, like MyFitnessPal, the one thing that you really you have to recognize with this app is it's simply a tracker. So it's not going to give you hints on what to eat necessarily. Like it's not going to tell you, well, if you eat 100 grams more of rice, you're going to hit your carb goal perfect. So you want to look at MyFitnessPal as like your goal is to get as close to what it tells you to eat as possible. So like you're not going to eat a perfect 109 grams of protein every day. You might eat 110 or 111 or 107, but your goal is going to be to get as close to possible as on everything that you can. So you're not always going to be at 2180. You may be at 2200. You may be at 2160, but your goal is just to get close. So you don't want to create an unrealistic goal of I have to be absolutely perfect every single day. So I'd say that's the most important thing. The only way that you're ever going to be 100% perfect every single day is if you break down these macros and actually calculate out the food, which I'll show you here here once we get finished up with the MyFitnessPal. You're more disciplined and I guess crazy, you could even call it, side of dieting. But your goal here is just to get as close as possible. You're never going to be perfect for 7 days in a row on this.
Correct. The goal is to either stay. If I stay underneath a 2180, I stay underneath my calories maybe by like 100 to 200 calories per day. It's never a drastic like deficit where I'm at 1,200 calories and I call that a day, because then that's going to be too drastic and that's a whole different subject.
Yep.
But you also don't want to be on here right on the surplus side of things. You don't want to be like, oh, MyFitnessPal tells me to eat 2,100 calories a day, but I'm eating 4,000 7 days a week and I'm not losing any weight. I'm actually gaining weight.
Yeah, and it's you also to kind of piggyback on what Eddie said, like you don't necessarily want to go in and say, okay, well, I get 2180 for 7 days a week. If I eat 1,500 6 days out of the 7 days, then I can take 3,000 calories from what I missed on those 6 days, or it end up being a little bit more. But that doesn't mean you get to add 3,000 calories to that other day. That's not how science, like yes, calories in, calories out will tell you that that's okay. But the actual like deeper level of nutritional science, like into that, like you're gonna fuck with your metabolism and you're gonna start holding a shat ton of water.
Yep.
So, and on top of that, like drastically, kind of like Eddie talked about, you never want to be like crazy drastically low on calories because you're essentially just starving your body, and that's not the way your body's made to lose weight.
Correct. So it's just important to keep in mind that, or keep that in mind, guys. It's the deficit is already created based on the information that you inputted into the app itself. So the number you're seeing, the 2180, that is your target calories for you to be able to lose weight. There's going to be days, it's never going to be perfect. So there's going to be days when you're under, days where you're over. The thing is to be consistent with it. And that's going to lead to weight loss. Another important thing to realize, and this is when we get into like the tracking of food, right? So it's very simple. You go in here, you go to add food, and it's going to tell you what portion of the day is it breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then you have your snacks. You also have the water, how much water you're consuming throughout the day, and it's also going to give you your actual macros. So you got the fat, the protein, and your carbs, sodium and sugar if you're somebody who needs to keep up with sodium and sugar due to diabetes or any health issues with that. So if you go to breakfast, this is where you enter your all your information, right? You can the super cool thing about MyFitnessPal is the fact that if you're lazy like I am, you can really use your phone to scan the barcode of the food that you're eating. So if you're eating like a bowl of cereal in the morning, then you hit the scan option and it'll pull up your camera and it'll scan that barcode, and that barcode has all the information that it needs for MyFitnessPal to be able to pull up. So it'll give you your serving size, it'll give you your calorie, protein, everything broken down for you so that you have that solid idea to be able to do it. We're going to search something. We'll go on the big side of things and search Starbucks because that's something that a lot of people drink nowadays, right?
Yeah. So, the other important thing to talk about is like MyFitnessPal at this, like the simplest way to put it, MyFitnessPal is simply like a food library. So this is just an easy way for you to look up exactly what you're eating and track it. So it's still your job whenever we say like a bowl of cereal. So like I have the option to eat Honey Nut Cheerios with some of my meals, but like I that doesn't mean I just go pour a bowl of Honey Nut Cheerios. Like I go put a bowl on a scale and I eat 55 grams of Honey Nut Cheerios. So you don't get to just go scan a croissant from Starbucks. Granted, that's different because it is like a single unit item, but like you don't get to just go, you don't get to scan just a bowl of cereal and then pour what you think is one serving and then eat that. That's not tracking your calories or tracking your macros.
What the hell was that? How do you spell Cheerios?
Cheerrio, I think. Cheerios. I don't know. That's a good question. Actually, I have my diet pulled up so I can tell you in a second.
Okay, so like what Will was saying, right, is that's a whole different side of things. We were eventually going to touch up on that, but let's touch up on it now. So Will is stating more on the measuring side of things. When you're measuring food like cereal, rice, anything of that nature, for us bigger people, you got to keep in mind that everything is measured out, right? It's important that you remember that. You can't just go and pour all the cereal you want, like Will said, into a bowl, because you're not tracking your calories. So cereal, rice, all that stuff, every food, unless it's like a serving size per the label, has its either ounces, grams, cups, whatever it is for you to be able to actually weigh the food or be able to actually tell MyFitnessPal how much of that you consume. So if we click on Honey Nut Cheerios, it's literally going to give you the breakdown, and it's asking for the serving size, right? So it's telling you that the serving size for Honey Nut Cheerios is 30 grams. So what Will and I do is we will literally take a bowl, put it on a scale, keep pouring cereal until that scale tells us 30 grams. What's going to shock you is it's not very much. It's not a lot of cereal.
Yeah, it's not
This
going to be near as much as you think it is.
correct. It's not. I got a big hand. It's probably one of my handfuls. You'll be shocked. And
To put it into perspective, I eat my Honey Nut Cheerios dry, simply because I don't currently have a whey protein that I like to mix with them right now. I've got some like other flavors that just don't work well, but like I use just like a standard cup from a kitchen to make it easier to eat. And it fills up my cup about halfway, and that's 55 grams. So that's almost 2 full servings. So it's not a ton. And on top of that, I mean, it's gonna be backwards, right? So like something like Honey Nut Cheerios that has a lot of simple carbohydrates or like sugars in it is gonna be a lot less than you expect. Whereas something like rice, for example, or maybe even potatoes is probably going to be a lot more in volume than you expect. And that's where, I mean, hell, that's why you see everyone talk about, rice and chicken or potatoes and chicken, potatoes and steak, rice and steak, whatever it is. It's because like the volume of it will keep you full longer. There, the glycemic index has stuff to do that as well. That gets a lot deeper into stuff that we'll get into in later episodes. But
yes. So the thing is, basically, this is why people diet. This is what people call a diet, right? Like we've said on here before, is in reality it is calories in versus calories out. However, if you do that and say, okay, well, I'm gonna eat 2,000 calories of Burger King, it's not very much food. You can literally go to Burger King, grab a double Whopper meal, large fries, and a large Coke, and that's 1,900 calories right there.
yeah,
So based on that information, is I could only eat 2,100 calories a day for me to lose weight. So that's why tracking is so, for us, for me as a big dude or us bigger people, and maybe even skinnier fit people deal with this too, who've never tracked before, is it's not a whole lot of food when you look into it. So it's important that you eat the right foods that are low in calorie but still keep you full, whether that's vegetables or rice or potatoes or whatever. You want to make sure that you're taking in food that's going to keep you satisfied, that can be broken down into 5 meals and keep you full throughout the day, versus eating fucking McDonald's one time a day and that's all you're eating to get
absolutely. And that's what you see for Eddie keeps on referring to like overweight people, and there's two sides to every coin, right? So like overweight guys like Eddie per se, like you get into this comfortability of eating a lot of food, eating a lot of not healthy food, so very calorically dense food, and you start gaining weight. Whereas then you walk around with skinny people who 90% of them are just going to claim that they have an incredibly fast metabolism, and no matter how much food they eat, they're never going to gain any weight. And I've actually I've had some people track their calorie intake, their food intake, who say that 90% of those people who say that are eating one decent sized meal a day that might be 800 calories, and then they're eating like 2 or 3 small, like very small snacks the rest of the day. So they're realistically like maybe 14 to 1,600 calories a day, and that's why they're so skinny. It's because they're essentially starving their bodies day in and day out, and their bodies just learn to operate on that little amount of food and fuel.
Let's do something fun here, Will. I'm going to put it all out on the line, and I'm going to show you guys. This is probably going to be shocking to you as well, but I'm going to show you guys how I used to eat before I decided 8 weeks ago, basically.
Yeah.
So you guys remember how I told you guys in the beginning of this whole thing was I'm not a person who ate a lot, right? I would go home, I would probably have 1 or 2 meals a day, or I'd go home and have a really big meal. So let me take you through one of my old days before I got through this entire thing, right? Breakfast, I wouldn't eat, but I would stop by Sonic and I'd get a Route 44 Coke. So
Sonic, like a regular Coke, not a Diet Coke.
No, I don't drink. That's why I don't drink Diet Coke now. But
you're about to hurt a lot of feelings with this one.
Exactly. This is exactly why I'm doing it, because this is going to be a lot of people, dude. So right there, perfect. Sonic Route 44 Vanilla Coke. That was my drink of the day, right? So we're going to add that on here.
God. Now, were you someone who did like light ice or extra ice, or did you just order it plain?
I did light ice because so that's going to increase that as well, the ounces.
Yeah, so that's going to give you more calories because you've got a lot less space taking it up.
Yep. So let's go. We'll do 1.5 servings since the ice is we're going to do 1.5 just to kind of give us an idea, right? So
yeah.
Add to food diary. Come on. All right. So we're looking at 675 calories already. All right. I'm literally telling you guys why I'm fat, why before I started this journey, how I got fat, even though I claim I didn't eat, I had a slow metabolism. All right, cool. So we got a Route 44 vanilla Coke. This was my daily. Every day before work, I felt like I needed that, right? Lunchtime. Let's get into lunchtime. We'll say I ate this day. I actually went in there and I ate. This literally was my daily, guys. I am not shitting you, Will. I am being open as I could fucking be with you. I would make 2 stops, bro. 2 stops, right? So I would have, here we go, 1.5. So that's just drinks. We're currently sitting at, where's our total here?
12 to 1,300 calories, somewhere in there.
1,350 calories and just 2 sodas, okay? 2 Route 44 sodas. All right. Let's say I'm being healthy, okay? I ate what my go-to was like a Qdoba burrito, but that's too hard to track. We'll say Chick-fil-A. I used to tell myself that Chick-fil-A was fucking healthy, right?
Dude, Chick-fil-A is the healthiest fast food. What do you mean?
Yeah, spicy chicken. We'll do Chick-fil-A. All right, so that's let's go ahead and add that. That's not the fries, guys. That's just the sandwich.
Yep.
Keep in mind, I didn't get a drink at Chick-fil-A because
you went and got a Route 44.
Because I literally would go to 2 different places to go get a soda. And I get it. This is time consuming. I'm sorry, guys, but I actually want to open your guys' eyes here. And it's so funny because people were dropping in and out of the shit until I started doing this. So this is me. This is me being honest with you guys here. All right, so see what we're looking at here, guys. So we got 2 sodas, 2 Route 44 Cokes. We have a Chick-fil-A meal, so fries, and we got the spicy chicken sandwich. But hold up, guys. Fuck, I'm putting myself on blast, bro. This is like motivation for me to go fucking back to the gym right now.
You're about to go walk laps in your neighborhood for cardio.
Right. Spicy chicken, Chick-fil-A. And let's be realistic here, right? When you're looking at this, to your average big dude, this still isn't a lot of food.
Yeah, I was about to say this is still like for your average person, like this really is like just one part of your day.
Correct. So, all right. So I work a retail job. I'm at the store from 9 to 8. Okay. My dinner was later at night. So we're going to do a snack. Heather was part of the problem here. As much as I love my wife, this is probably going to be eye-opening for her. She drinks fucking soda like a motherfucker. Okay. So she would always hit me up after she got off of work. Hey, I'm going to Sonic. You want it?
My God. Yeah. Give me a Route 44 Coke, babe.
Yep. That's exactly what happened. All right. Let's go ahead and add that. 5. All right.
Good Lord.
Now let's go ahead and add dinner. Let's say I got off of work. I didn't work out this day. Got off of work. We ended up doing, we'll say pepperoni pizza, Domino's pizza, whatever.
Yeah, I was about to say I knew that pizza was coming. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I absolutely knew pizza was going to be the next thing.
Pizza maybe like once or twice a week, right? But we're gonna add pizza on here. So this is measuring the calories, 275 calories per slice. So pizza's my weakness, right? Probably had 5 slices of pizza. This is me being honest.
I'm easily a whole pizza kind of guy, which is kind of
no. Yeah, so am I. This is me just being fucking.
Oh yeah.
All right, so hold on. There was still more soda in here.
But there's more.
It wasn't, what's your normal size can of Coke?
A can of
Like
Coke is a 12-ounce can.
12 ounce? 12
Yeah.
My Arkansas really 12 ounce. 12
It's
ounce.
probably that 142 calorie one right there. Well, that either or. The
Yeah.
50 mil, yeah.
So one can wasn't enough. Probably had 3. All right. There you go, guys. There was my day. That's exactly why the fuck I was fat and why I was overweight. And again, I had to, when I lost all the weight and when I started tracking my shit, this was a shock to me. And it was like a punch in the fucking stomach. I had no reason to bitch. This is where all my excuses were thrown out the window. This is why I'm so hard on myself right now.
Yeah, and I mean,
there was no, sorry to cut you off. There was no excuse. I have bad genetics. I'm big boned. I'm fat because of whatever this reason or whatever that reason. The excuse of I can't lose weight because I'm on a diet, because this is what I thought okay day was, oh, I didn't eat a whole lot of food this day, but this is why I couldn't lose weight. Before I used to sit down, and I remember my mom used to give me shit about being overweight, right? Typical mom, not giving you shit, but she cared about me being big because I had a family and so forth. And goddamn, this is like, I'm putting everything out there for you guys right now. So she would like hit me up and she was like, dude, you need to like get surgery. Like, you need to think about getting surgery for your family, for your kids, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, I'm on a diet, mom. Like, check out, like, look, I'm on a diet. I don't eat a lot. 5,146 calories is what I was taking in, guys. And I would tell myself that I was dieting. Okay.
Good Lord. Like, to put into perspective, like that's what your like largest bodybuilders are eating. So like that's like guys that weigh 260, 270 pounds on stage, and that's what they're eating in their off seasons to make them gain weight, and they're solid muscle.
And they're still working out.
Yeah, exactly. And they're still working out. So like this is drastic. And you can even point out some things like, no matter what your diet is, you should always be prioritizing protein. Not saying that you should eat more protein than anything else, but you should certainly, if this is what your calorie intake looks like, this little bitty single slice of pizza right here for protein is not enough protein. And you should never be taking in more fats than you are protein either. Like that's bad.
So look, right? This is why we get into, sorry, Will, to keep cutting you off. This is just a touchy subject for me, especially with like, I'm going to call out Teddy and George and people like that. They tell me, oh no, I'm eating healthy, and why I give them so much shit about working out and actually tracking their food is because they're not realistically tracking their food, right? They're like, oh no, I am doing it, blah, blah, blah. But no, you're not, because you're eating fucking 12 tacos and 12 wings back to back, when in reality, that's probably your entire day intake of food at your size. Yeah. But look at these fucking carbs, bro. This is why a low carb diet helps you lose weight. This is nearly 1,000 fucking grams of carbs a day. Just look at that.
It's not even that. And I mean, you don't even necessarily have to go like low carb, but like just in general, everything that you're doing, you're overdoing it. So like you're barely overdoing it on your protein. Like I'd say that for this person, that 133 grams of protein is still in, like, that's well within range for what I would be comfortable. Granted, you're having to pull, I'd probably pull from the fats. I think 73 grams of fats is very high here. I don't like that much fat in anybody's diet, but it's just most foods in general in America, because of how Americans are, everybody wants everything to taste really good. You want it really sweet, so on and so forth. Carbs are just the most overused and overeaten thing in America, period. So the fad low carb diets are what people always go to because it's what the biggest bad guy is. Whenever in reality, people say a low carb diet and they're still eating 55% of their macros and carbs, and that is not a low carb diet. That's just a normal everyday diet that you should be on. But like things like keto, just doing keto isn't going to help you because you're probably just going to eat a shitload more fats because you're going to think that cooking everything in butter is okay.
Yep.
But like I said, there's a lot more to get into. And I mean, I can even show kind of the more drastic version of this food tracking. I can show on like from my screen, and I can show you guys exactly what I do, like how it looks for me, someone who is very strict, very disciplined, which I say very strict. Whenever I'm in prep, it is 100% on. But like as far as this stuff goes, I mean, it's one of those things like the only thing you can do here, if you're lying whenever you're doing something like this, you're only ever cheating yourself. I mean, bottom line, like if you're lying to my fitness pal doesn't give two shits. It's still going to show you ads. They're still going to make money off of you. They're still going to use your information that you plug into this app to sell it to other people so that they can show you specific ads and whatever else. All of that's still going to happen. And you're lying to yourself to try to make yourself feel better, but the scale's either not going to move or it's going to go in the opposite direction that you want it to. So the most important thing you can do with this is be honest with yourself.
Yeah. So what I just did on here was, wait, hold on, something fucking changed. Hold up. Let me remove that. That was way too high. All right. Let me add this to it, and then I'll kind of tell you guys what I did here. Apparently, I can't type or talk today. I bet you 20 minutes to find that. What the fuck is going on? Oh my god, bro, come on. All right. So I told you guys we've talked about on here multiple times regarding like my previous weight loss journey and how I lost all the weight. Stop! No, hold on. Hold on. Sorry about that. My fucking 11-year-old decided she was going to keep knocking on the door here. All right. So back when I first lost all the weight, right? This is why I lost weight so quick. Because this was my daily back in the day. Obviously, I'm a lot healthier. Even this time around when I gained some of the weight back, right? That's UK. Hold on, buddy. Yeah, in a little bit. Hold on. All right, so this was my daily, when I was at my biggest weight, this is my daily, pretty average of what my daily looked like, dude. Look at those calories, huh?
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous, that's for sure.
Hold on. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. Like you got to be able to actually understand that. That's why I tell everybody, like, if you're really trying to lose weight or you want to open your eyes when it comes to this stuff, is really like download MyFitnessPal and type this stuff in there just for a day or two. Type in everything that you don't change anything, everything that you put into your body, and actually track it. So
yeah, and also stick to your normal stuff. You don't, like I said, you got to be honest with yourself. So if you want to know exactly what you're doing, exactly what you're normally eating, you've got to eat what you're normally eating. And don't take the approach of sitting back and saying, okay, well, I'll just remember what I ate this week and try to think 3 days back, because you're not going to think about the little things here and there. I mean, you've still got to add oh, well, I opened up that bag of chips, or I walked past my kid who was eating chips and cheese dip, and I had a couple of tortilla chips with cheese dip. Like you got to track those. Like, no, it's not going to be a ton of calories. It's not going to be an asinine amount. Like it's still food going into your body. So like that's why having the app, having something like this where you can go through and you can add it as you go, it's going to keep you honest. But at the end of the day, you just have to be honest with yourself, which is going to be tough, especially because you're going to see it as you go through the day. You're going to see that number getting much higher than you expect it to, and you're going to hate yourself for it. But that's probably also going to, like Eddie said, motivate you to go back out and do what you need to be doing.
Yeah, and so the final thing before we get off MyFitnessPal here, we didn't go into full depth, but I do want Will to share his stuff that he has. Is don't think about, like, this is why I'm so hard on a couple of my friends or myself, before I started this journey is don't use the excuse of I can't lose fucking weight until you've actually done this. Until you've actually inputted your food, what you eat on a daily into MyFitnessPal without changing anything at all. Just really focus on entering all your information on there, measurements, the servings, everything that you do, and then it'll really open your eyes and be like, oh, this is why I'm not losing weight. Is because even though I'm not eating a lot, the foods that I'm eating is putting me at 6,000 calories a day.
Yeah. And the other thing that we're not even talking about here is like we're looking at 6,000 calories a day, and that's without Eddie adding any condiments. So that's no ketchup on his fries. That's no Chick-fil-A sauce on his sandwiches, no ranch on his pizza. I mean, like people look at the back of ketchup bottles like, oh, well, it's only 50 calories. It's not much. And it's 50 calories for a tablespoon. Like nine out of 10 people are dousing their food. I douse my food in ketchup.
Yeah.
Whenever I use ketchup. So, I mean, it's just one of those things you've got to look at every aspect. And it's at the end of the day, condiments, sodas, so on and so forth, they're empty calories, condiments less than sodas. But you got to track everything. So I don't know. Is it going to,
well, Will kind of pulls his stuff up there. Another thing to keep in mind, right, is I have a lot of friends who tell me that, oh, hey, I've been eating really good. I've been eating like 3 or 4 salads a day. Like that's all I eat. Okay, cool. You're eating 3 to 4 calories a day, but Will just mentioned ranch. How much ranch are you throwing on that damn salad?
No joke.
You're throwing, realistically, nobody pays attention to how much ranch they actually throw into their salad unless it's a prepackaged like that you get from Chick-fil-A or something. But like my wife would always be like, oh no, I'm eating healthy. It's a chicken salad, whatever. And then she would smother that fucking salad in ranch, bro. And then I literally showed her, I was like, this is what one serving of ranch looks like. You just used like 8 of them.
Oh, wow.
Let me see why.
I was about to say, are you seeing what I'm seeing? Because that was something else.
Yeah, it's because it's got me on here. Hold on real quick. Let me see. It's still.
Why is it? I wonder. Let me see if it's the way I'm sharing my screen.
No, I think I know why. Share it again. Hold on real quick. Let me. Oh, yes. You have to have a second browser open. Is it on the same browser?
I mean, it's just my screen. Like I'm not sharing anything from my browser. Like I'm not going to a website on Google.
Oh, gotcha. Did you pick the application that you're using?
Yeah, like I'm just pulling up an email is all I'm doing.
Yeah, but when you pick share, it tells you what screen you want to share. Are you sharing your entire screen or just the email part of it? It'll let you just pick.
Oh, there it goes. I had to pull it up. Okay, there we go. Maybe this will work.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, we can see this now. So as far as, let me get that back to, good Lord. Okay, so as far as this goes, so this is what my diet looks like. And I want to note here, like, you're not going to be able to just follow, like, you're not going to be able to strip this diet and follow it and look like me. Like, my diet changes on a weekly basis. I send an update to my coach on Monday. By the end of the day, Monday, I get a whole new email that looks like this. But this is the, do what?
Are you in a surplus here?
Yeah, this is me in a surplus.
Okay, got you. I was going to say, holy fuck, you taking a lot of carbon. I was
saying, yeah, well, so this is realistically what a healthy diet for someone my size eating this much food should look like. So a lot of people will tell me that I'm taking in far more protein than I need to. Yeah. Granted, that's personal opinion there. There's science that backs it up. There's science that doesn't. I have healthy kidneys, so I don't have to worry about taking in too much protein. But at the end of the day, it's hard to, like, it wouldn't be incredibly difficult for me to eat more carbs. I could do it. But the last place I want to add any macros is fats, because fats are the easiest thing to store as fat in the body. carbs and protein have to go through other processes. So you want to have more food here. And I process carbs extremely well. So anything rice based, I process incredibly quickly. But that's just my body, me knowing my body. But so this is kind of a breakdown of like, shows you like, this is how you know if you're going to be perfect every day, is whenever this is how you write out your meal plan. And I've got 2 different meal plans. So you can see at the bottom right now, which I'll scroll down and run through it. But I have a different on my rest days versus my training days. I have a different diet. We strip 10 grams of fats and 110 grams of carbs. My protein never changes. But you can look here. So I have 4 meals that I eat throughout the day on a training day. And I have a pre-workout meal. I have carbs that I drink during my workout. And then I have a post-workout meal. So how I typically set this up is meal 1, I eat. It's breakfast. I eat it before I leave for work. Meal 2 and 3, I eat while I'm at work. Then I'll come home and immediately have my pre-workout meal, get my carbs in at the gym, come back home. As soon as I'm ready, whether I'm doing cardio, abs, anything like that at home afterwards, or if I lifted super heavy and I'm just not ready to eat yet, I may wait 30 minutes to eat my post meal. I may be ready to eat it right away. But I'll eat my post meal, and then right before I go to bed, I eat meal number 4. But if you look at this, I mean, everything is down to the gram. And then my coaches are nice enough to tell me the macros of every single food that I'm eating. So if I want to substitute, I can. But 230 grams of egg whites every morning, whole eggs, 3 English muffins. I eat bagels instead of English muffins. But this is what it looks like to know that it's going to be perfect. And whenever everything says like this many grams, this many ounces, whatever it may be, all of that is weighed out. Everything is weighed. So I know I'm getting everything exactly. And granted, like this is also generalized. So let's say, 200 grams of cooked jasmine rice. So jasmine rice is obviously a specific type of rice. Sometimes I can't find jasmine at the store that I'm at. I'll get the closest thing like to it, which is typically medium grain rice, but the macros may be a little bit different on that. Same with red potatoes. If I don't get the exact type of potato, those macros can be a little bit different. So there's a little bit of room for play here as well. But this is as close to perfect as you're going to get without like knowing the specific brands and such that you can buy. But
so the crazy part, like looking at your diet, right? When I'm comparing it to mine, crazy part is when I look at my fitness pal, a lot of it is broken down. The way I have my plan written out now, anyways, is very similar to that. So one thing for some people to kind of keep in mind is you're not going to get to the point that Will or even myself is currently at, because in the beginning, the only thing you should really be focused on is the calorie intake. Now, I focus on everything the way Will is focused because of the advice that I've gotten from them and like my other friends, so like Van and everybody. So I make sure that I aim for, just like Will has, 65. I don't go over, I think 70 grams of fat is my highest. And then my carbs will range anywhere from like 300 to 350, protein anywhere from like 275 to 300. But I do want to ask you a question. Looking at your very first diet, not your rest date, but looking at that, do you know how many calories is in that?
So I'm roughly, if you add these up, so just background, fats are 9 calories per gram, carbs and proteins, depending on where you go to, calculate out to 4 or 4.5 calories per gram. I usually do my calculations at 4 calories per gram, but I'm in the 32 to 3,400 range.
Wow.
So to put that in perspective, I'm eating roughly the same amount of food as Eddie's eating.
Yeah.
But I'm in a surplus and Eddie's in a deficit. So if that should show you how much it takes to carry around extra weight.
Correct.
And this isn't even, so this is, whenever I say a surplus, this is a small surplus for me. If my coaches, if I say I ate on my rest day diet for a week straight, I would probably drop 5 pounds. So,
and I know why, but why is that?
So I'm an ectomorph. It's harder for me to gain weight. It's incredibly easy for me to lose weight, as well as like whenever you're starting to strip some carbs out of your diet, you're going to lose some water with it. But as far as that goes, the way my body functions, it's a lot easier for me to get lean than it is to put weight on. Whereas Eddie's the opposite. Whereas I'm sure it's a lot easier for him to put weight on than it is to take it off. But past all that, I mean, if you look at the stuff that I'm eating here, a lot of this, like, this is stuff where, like, you wouldn't hate eating this as long if you cooked it a certain way, stuff like that. Like, this breakfast is a very big breakfast for most people. Like, most people probably wouldn't be able to get this food down. These meals right here, so like meal 2, meal 3, and my post meal are all essentially the same meals. It's 8 ounces of a lean meat. It's 200 grams of rice. And then, for example, this one's got 20 grams of peanut butter. This one has some type of fruit. This one also has some type of fruit. So with all those, like, those fill up a large bowl, like a large salad bowl. So that's, like, to put into perspective, like, the volume of these meals is massive. Most people, if they tried to keep up with me eating throughout the day, because I eat kind of like Eddie does now, every 2 to 2.5, 3 hours. Most people could not keep up with me. But at the same time, if you're cooking all this stuff yourself, like, these are meals that you can enjoy. I mean, hell, in my pre-meal, I'm eating half of a muffin from Costco. And those aren't like small muffin. Those are the big muffins that, like, you couldn't fit a whole one in your hand. Like, the muffin's literally that big if you're palming it.
So looking at this, Will, I'm going to bring up a point here for you. You remember in the group, I've always told you guys, or I've even said it on Facebook, right? Like, one of the biggest struggles for me in the beginning was the amount of food that I'm now eating.
Yep.
This is why. This is the perfect example why. Because 6,000 calories of Chick-fil-A and all the soda and shit that I was drinking wasn't a lot of food. But when you eat calorie-dense food like this 5 times a day or 6 times a day, it's a shit ton of food.
So yeah, real quick, I'm just going to correct something you said there, so there's no confusion for any viewers. These foods aren't calorically dense, but they're nutritionally dense. So a calorically dense food would be something like Reese's Cups, where it's just like packed with sugar, so on and so forth. It's a very small volume, but a very large caloric content. Whereas these foods, for the most part, are large in volume, low in caloric content. So that was just to make sure there wasn't any confusion. But go ahead and finish your thought.
Yeah, thanks for correcting that, because I actually said that shit backwards myself too. But no, it's yeah, I've said this on Facebook, right? I'm eating so much fucking food, like, and this is exactly why. It's because when you actually sit down and break down a meal plan or create, just the basic ass meal plan for yourself, hitting 2,000 calories or 3,000 calories is achievable, and it could be a lot of food depending on how you write out that plan. And another thing, like you just said, right? You can make 2,000 to 3,000 calories an enjoyable lifestyle.
Yeah,
like
you don't have to eat like a bodybuilder. You don't have to eat like me. Like, whenever I'm being completely serious, whenever I say what meal 2 looks like for me is ground turkey. I do the 99% green ground turkey right now, plain jasmine rice. And then I top it off. That peanut butter just gets eaten off a spoon because I'm not mixing peanut butter into that food. That's fucking disgusting. If anybody does that, they just need to go jump off a cliff. Not really. Don't get me canceled on that one. But like, it's very basic. And I'll either, right now, since I'm in the off season, I don't mind using like whatever condiments I want to, but that also doesn't mean that I'm drowning my food in condiments. Like, I try not to put more, if there are calories in my condiment, I try not to put more than 2 tablespoons on my food. So I'll do a mix of jalapeno mustard, 0 calorie jalapeno mustard, and then some no sugar added ketchup. and I'll do that for one of these meals. And then for the other one, I'll do a barbecue sauce. Whenever I move into prep for the first part of prep, I'll continue to do the same thing, but I'll switch to a sugar-free barbecue sauce. And then once I get within like 8 to 6 weeks, I usually cut out any caloric condiments at all, and I'll go to straight hot sauce and mustard.
Yeah. So I got a question for you, just in case anybody looks at your diet and they're like, "Oh, hey, why is your?" I obviously know the answer why your rest day is completely different. So what is when I look at this, right? It's a rest day. You're not working out, so you're eating less calories, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So realistically, I'm eating about, what would that be? 90 plus what? 440. So about 550 less calories on my rest day. Essentially, what we're accounting for there, like my rest days are not rest days. My rest days are active rest days. So I'm not just laying on a couch watching Netflix all day. I'm usually doing a core circuit or doing some cardio or doing what's called a type D activity, which is something like hiking, playing a sport, something like that. Um,
Can we
so
consider
we're do what?
can we consider a sex marathon a class D?
As an exercise scientist, if your heart rate was elevated above 120 beats per minute for an extended period of time, I think I would allow you to refer to sex a long sex marathon as a type
So,
D activity.
so
But you better be on top and not be playing fucking dead fish.
that's what I was gonna say. So if you're like pile driving, then
You better be it better be one of those sex sessions where you got to take a shower after because you're both so sweaty. Like
yeah.
that's the point you got to be at. But the reason that we're pulling back on these is because there's not as much of a need for as many as much like as many nutrients. Now, granted, there is some argument to have there with you're still recovering from the workout from the previous day. I only have one rest day a week, so I only eat this diet one day a week. So there's still argument to say, well, the nutrients will be used to recover from the previous day's exercise. We know that muscles take about 48 hours to completely heal back as far as recovery from a workout, not from an injury, but from a workout. So as far as that goes, like we're doing this just to kind of help keep my body fat under control. We're very happy with where my body fat's at right now, and I'm still growing. So this is just kind of helping us keep it under control while being able to add more nutrients in on my days where I am hammering it in the gym. So that's really the purpose there is moving. It allows me to eat more food on these days while we're keeping my body fat where we want it.
So I do want to ask you a question, right? Last week we talked about consistency and obviously discipline and stuff. Looking at your diet, is this what you're eating every single day?
I eat this plus some.
Okay.
So I adhere to these meals. I will say I'm the person that will accidentally miss like the peanut butter. Like I'll forget to throw it in my bag that in the morning and I'll forget to eat that, or I may forget something like this here. But granted, I may forget this fruit here, but I really like to have a banana with my breakfast.
Yeah.
So normally the 20 carbs and one protein that I miss here, you'll see in my pre-meal, I'm going to get that back along with the post meal. So like I'm going to get that back and a little bit more if I eat a banana at breakfast as well. So that being said, some of this gets moved around, but I do eat all of this. But whenever I say like off season, I'm 80% on diet, it's because I may add like a snack from the gas station or something like that while I'm at work into this. But I am consuming all of this food every single day. I just may add things here and there. If I make a really good sale, I might have 2 fingers of whiskey that night before I go to bed. little stuff like that. Or like my coach Kenna, who you were referring to on the video, she has one square, like those little squares you see at like hotels.
Yeah.
Every single day of her life now, she has one square of dark chocolate. It doesn't matter if she's prepping for a show. It doesn't matter if it's show day. She has one square of dark chocolate every day.
That's cool, man. Well, it allows her to be like, it gives her that little like, I wouldn't necessarily like to say a cheat meal, but God, what's the word I'm using?
It's just like a guilty pleasure type thing, right? So, so it's just something she really likes to have it. And it's one of those things where if it's accounted for from the start, then you can work around it. But it's not like she's not 8 weeks into prep with 4 weeks left. And then it's like, damn, I really have a sweet tooth. I'm going to start eating dark chocolate every day.
No, that's cool, man. I want to leave it at that because that was a lot of information.
Yeah. It's a lot of info, and we're past the hour mark. So we can dive into ingredient labels and whatnot later on, maybe next week, maybe just later on down the road. We'll see. But yeah, I think that was a lot of info. It was a lot of good info. We didn't get any comments this week like we did last week. Granted, this was a lot more of an instructional type of topic.
This was also
anything else. Do I?
This was also later too. It was 8:30.
Yeah. We also had to push it back. I didn't get back into Indy until about 8:05 Central Time, so it gave me time to take the dog out, make sure he didn't go crazy, and then unload the car. But
yeah, not to mention that time change probably affected a lot of people. So I had a ton of people who I don't know why they feel like they need to do it, but they message me and they're like, "Oh no, I'm sorry, man, I can't make it today because I'm like tired." Like it's cool. If you can't make it like today, you can actually go back and rewatch these. They're
these are always going to be available to go back and watch.
Yeah.
But
with that being said, man, it was nice seeing you again. Love having these every week. I hope you guys got a lot of valuable information out of that, both on, the bodybuilding side and the weight loss side of things. I hope that my old habits were able to open somebody's eyes and be like, oh, this is why I'm not losing weight, because there's a reason why you're not losing weight there. And that's why I'm so motivated now. You got to have your eyes open to really understand how this works before just saying I can't lose weight because I'm big boned or whatever. But yeah, with that being said, I do appreciate everybody that did it. Even though there wasn't questions on here, there was a lot of people who did hop on and stay on here for a bit. So I do appreciate you guys coming on, and I will let Will check out and say his goodbyes.
Yeah. As always, if you enjoyed it, please share with your friends. Word of mouth is the best form of marketing. So share this with people if you do enjoy it, if you do like the information, or even if you don't, you think you know somebody who could use this information, definitely share with people. If you don't like it, shut up about it. Don't tell anybody. Just let us do our thing and enjoy it. But yeah, past that, just like Eddie said, I greatly appreciate anybody who is on here while we were talking. Anybody that watches this once it's put up online after it's been recorded, thank you very much for watching it as well. This is something we'd really like to see grow, and we're really just doing this to try to help push good knowledge out there and get past all the bullshit you see Insta influencers putting up. But other than that, that's really all I have to say. Thank you guys. I got to hop off of here.
Sure.
Yeah.
All righty, guys. Appreciate it. I will end it here, guys, and you guys have a great night.